So a couple days ago, I talked about how Keemstar and Trisha Paytas could be working on something together. And yesterday, that thing was announced when Keemstar tweeted out a picture of her, FaZe Banks, and himself together on a couch, and captioned it by saying, "Just recorded Frenemies, next Mom's Basement only on Spotify." Unsurprisingly, Ethan had a pretty visceral reaction to this, but more surprisingly is that his mom, Donna Klein, ended up saying some even more crazy stuff than Ethan did. But I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Let's first start off with what Ethan had to say. He tweets out, "I'm not even gonna front or try to be funny. This just makes me sad." Keemstar quote tweets him and says, "W's, more W's." He then tweets out that H3 blocked him and says, "Why so sad?" So it wasn't just Ethan who had a negative reaction to this, but also a lot of his fans, which of course caused Trisha herself to get a lot of hate. She responds to it on Twitter by saying, "Me and Keem have beef / me and FaZe had beef. I go on podcasts to talk and try to find peace with people. I did it with Ethan. I went on H3 for the first time ever after he did a video saying I looked like a corpse, a WWE wrestler, etc. And I think he's changed since then. I went on Gabby's podcast after she told my boyfriend at the time I had herpes to try and get closure, to see if she's changed her mindset, to spread awareness about why lying about STDs is super dangerous. That one didn't go so well. People are so quick to judge. You think I'm gonna go on Keemstar's pod and not call out his shitty behavior? Like what?" Keemstar quote tweets her and says, "I'm not changing or growing. I'm staying this asshole forever, and I'm going to last longer than everyone." Trisha quote tweets him and says, "I still don't like you," to which Keem responds, "Only cause I'm in a happy relationship. If I become single, you going in heat again. Stop playing. Just talking shit. No disrespect to Moses. Met him today. Very nice guy." Now let's check out Ethan Klein's mom, Donna Klein's reaction to Trisha going on a podcast of someone her son doesn't like. She responds to Ethan's tweet by saying, "Can't wait to go to her wedding. Not!" Now this comment is just so ridiculous to me, because despite so much vile shit being said between Ethan and Keem to each other in the last 4 years of their internet beef, at the end of the day it has always just been that, internet beef. Everything Keemstar has ever said or done to Ethan has been over the internet and vice versa. So with that being said, it's crazy to me that Donna Klein is now refusing to go to her own son-in-law's wedding because his fiance went on a podcast of someone her son is beefing with on the internet. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Trisha Paytas is engaged to Moses, who is Ela Klein's brother, Ela Klein being Ethan Klein's wife. So the fact that Ethan Klein's mom is getting so mad at this to where she's now refusing to support her son-in-law is just absolutely insane. This to me is the biggest example I've ever seen of someone just taking the internet too seriously. Yes, Keemstar has done a lot of horrible shit to Ethan, but I don't feel what they've done to each other even comes close to justifying boycotting a wedding for simply briefly associating with this person. Anyways, moving on, Donna also commented on Ethan's tweet by saying, "What I'm feeling doesn't fit the words. She's such a weasel." Trisha quote tweets her and says, "What you texted Moses is the most evil thing to ever put out into the universe. If I'm a weasel, you are Satan for putting that energy out there. You are an evil woman to write what you wrote. It's unspeakable. To put that burden on me the way you did is the worst karma." What Ethan's mom texted Moses after our fight was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I'm tormented with it daily. I wouldn't even speak what she wrote because I refute that energy. That negative bad energy is something that paralyzed me then and now. Nicholas Little responds to Trisha by saying, "Trish, take that up with Donna, Ethan, and Moses privately, please. Not everything has to be a social catastrophe. I love you, but at the same point, this has to chill. Think of Ethan and Moses for a minute. Like," Trisha quote tweets him and says, "I'm trying my best, but I'm not gonna be a pushover. They talk shit about me on the pod. I've tried to be the bigger person. Talking about my wedding and my relationship today, get the fuck out of here. She is evil and I'm refusing that energy, here and now. I'm biting my tongue. I'm holding it in the best I can." Ethan ran my mom and sister off social media for literally one TikTok she deleted instantly, and still has it up on his channel. His parents degrading me, insulting me still. Fine, whatever. But the text she sent Moses was something only the devil himself would cast upon anyone. I'm livid. I'm angry. I've been carrying this evil, ugly burden she placed on me, blaming me for an unspeakable thing. She's evil. I have just never encountered anyone to put such an evil burden on me. A curse. Something to even write. Unfathomable. Ethan. Bullies and drives my sister off the internet for one TikTok she instantly deleted. Also Ethan. Gives his platform to his parents to shit on me and everyone. He is a hypocrite and can't admit it. Ethan making fun of Crowder for his dad as his booker. Also Ethan having his mom and dad fight his battles. I'm logging off. I don't care what anyone says or thinks. I don't care anymore. I went on a podcast. It's not even out and everyone losing their shit. I defended Ethan on this pod in many ways. People are so quick to judge and send hate. They did a whole episode comparing me to my biggest trigger, Gabby Hanna. Put us in the thumbnail title, compare us. But I talk to someone he doesn't like? Let's send the hate mob my way. Ethan's fanbase is so unbelievably toxic. It's actually scary. Like for real. I'm not gonna be run off the internet. I've been doing this 15 years now. Long before any of these people. I'm my own person. Then, now, and forever. You talk about me. I'm allowed to talk about you. That's how the internet works. Yes, your fanbase is louder and bigger and more vocal, but it doesn't scare me. I've been through this before with another cult, and I survived that. I'll survive this. You know what it's called when you can't talk to someone because someone else doesn't like them? It's called a cult. I'm literally shutting off my phone. Leave all the hate you want if that makes you feel better. Imagine sending a hate train to someone for going on a podcast that's not even out yet. Friendly reminder. Me and Ethan met and I went on his podcast for the first time when he made a video trashing my looks, calling me a corpse, a WWE wrestler, called Tana a Twinkie, and a whale. Why? Because I believe in discussion, debate, and trying to change people's minds. I don't cower away from people who I disagree with, or that don't like me. I face it. Maybe I can learn. They could grow, or it could end in having a successful podcast, or it could end in complete shit. But why shut out an opportunity for growth because of beef? It's what I do. It's what I continue to do. And I encourage everyone to have discussions with each other, especially ones that you oppose. You might learn something, you might not, but at least trying shows maturity and willingness to grow. So that's about it for Trisha's tweets. But Keemstar also reacted to Donna Klein when he tweeted out, "Laughing my fucking ass off." Ethan's mother now refusing to go to Trisha's wedding because she came on my podcast. The W is too big. Deadass feel bad for Trisha Paytas now, but at least she knows now Ethan and his family never cared for her. They just used her for content. He then shows a tweet Ethan made when he was still doing frenemies with Trisha, where he says, "I'm also very happy for Trisha and Moses. They make a great couple and really love each other. It's beautiful." Next to the tweet of Donna saying she won't go to the wedding. Unfull Moon responds to Donna by saying, "Aw, that's not cool. She's still part of the family, right?" Donna responds, "Family doesn't do things like that." Keemstar continues tweeting when he says, "My midlife crisis. $1 million deals. New girlfriend. New cars. Trending with light trolling. My enemy's midlife crisis. Tears collecting L's daily. Publicly posting he's sad." Julio Caesar responds, "Why do you hate Ethan so bad?" Wyatt responds to him by saying, "Keemstar went onto Ethan's podcast a couple years ago and got along with him and had a good time. Right after the podcast was posted, Ethan put in the comments that he hates Keemstar. Ethan snaked him first." Keemstar quote tweets him and says, "Exactly! This is how the entire Keemstar versus Ethan started. And I tried to offer peace 2 different times, but he's big baby energy." The next day, Ethan continues to tweet about this when he says, "Gabby Hanna messaged me immediately after Frenemies broke up trying to get on the podcast. I knew it would be an interesting show with a lot of views to be had, but I didn't even respond to her, and I still haven't. Some things you just don't do. I would never do that to Trisha." He also posts the same tweet on TikTok, which Trisha responds to there by saying, "You should have her on, if you think there's some benefit to it, truly. I've always encouraged you to talk to people. Now that I'm not there, it's a good time. I tried talking to her by going on her podcast a few months ago. Maybe you have a different approach for people to get a sense of who she really is. I was the one who encouraged having Jeff on Frenemies, when no one else wanted it. And we changed his mindset. You never know." Now, speaking of TikTok, there was actually more discussion around this drama over there than there was on Twitter, thanks to Trisha making over 30 TikToks on the situation. But since it's so much to go through, I figured I'd save it for the next video, so if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. I'd also like to thank my channel members for supporting the channel, in particular Scurry, who's donated $100 a month. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.